All right. Hello and welcome to another edition of Late to the Party News. I am your host, John, the creative blue collar guy. And we've got with us my alternate universe dad, Roman of the Empire, who is again wearing his musician's hat that I guess apparently we're all supposed to make fun of. There's something in a tweet about making comments about your hat today. Yes. How you doing,
Why,
sir?
Jacob?
Finally,
Why?
it's
Why would you do that?
it's finally not 100 degrees outside, so I'm sure your garage is
No,
finally a little bit comfortable
it
tonight
is.
for
I'm
once.
actually look. I got sleeves, and
What?
I'm
Got
wearing
long
shorts.
sleeves
I actually
on.
have something on my nether regions. It's true. It's true. It's all true. No ball fan on today. It's glorious. So
Awesome.
things are
Yeah,
good
we're
here at the
uh
studio of the Empire.
yeah, so Southern California is in that really cool time of year, and by really cool I mean absolutely miserable time of year where it does get down into maybe like the 40s, give or take, at
It
night
was
and in the
43
morning,
this
but
morning.
in the
43
afternoon will still be like 80. So we experienced two different seasons in one day.
all in one day. Yeah.
Like when I go to work, when I like even when I leave, I live about 10 minutes away from where I work. I'll get in my car and it'll be like 51, and then I'll get down into the valley and get to work and park, and it's like 46, and I'm like, okay, throw a jacket on, no big deal, fine, whatever. But then the sun comes out and then all of a sudden it's 80 degrees out, and it's just like it's not fun. It's not great.
Yeah,
It's not good.
it's about the
But
same here in Texas.
oh yeah.
Had a 37 a couple nights ago.
Oof.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. We'll be getting those. I mean, we do get frosts here. I mean, people don't think we do,
Yeah.
but we do. I actually had to get a scraper sent to me for my windows when I used to get butt ass early up in the morning, because I would have ice on my windshield, and I'd be like, "Well, fuck, what am I going to do with this?"
Back when Roman worked, yes, back before the dark times.
I don't miss that.
And
Yeah, I knew a
Blair,
guy
good
in,
to see you as well.
I knew a guy in Missouri that would hook his hose up to the hot water tank and spray his vehicle off.
That's how you crack your windshield.
Yeah,
Boom.
a dangerous prospect there.
That's playing a dangerous game there.
But
yeah, and then Blair, good to see you as well, buddy. How you doing out there?
Good. Yeah, it got 37 degrees last night too, and then it got up to 55 today. So that's all we get.
You guys haven't gotten any snow yet, or
Not yet, no. It's
no?
looking like, I don't know. It rained all day today, so might be one of those things where we don't get any snow all year, or we might get nailed. Who knows?
Interesting. Do you have yours?
Like regional weather report here on Late to the Party News.
Yeah. What's that, John?
You have yours where like you guys don't get snow at all? Like,
It's a couple times, yeah. It snowed like on Halloween. A couple years ago, it had a little snow on Halloween, and that was it. We had nothing. No white Christmas.
And then let's see. It's not the first time he's been on, but it has been quite a while. But we have our good friend and longtime supporter of the channel, Jacob Ironside. How are you doing tonight, brother? Good to see you.
I'm not doing too bad. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's been raining cats and dogs here. Watch out for the poodles.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we do get rain here in San Diego, I know we're bringing you the weather report from all over the country now. But when San Diego does get rain, it's so rare that we get rain. The city doesn't do a good job of keeping all the gutters and drains and everything cleared. So even if it's not that much rain, stuff floods everywhere, and like people's cars get messed up, people's homes get messed up, and just like
Fashion Valley.
if the city would just do their job.
So yeah,
hobos go floating by.
So every year there's this area near where we live. Roman and I, if you don't know, we live in close enough proximity together that he has to put up with me in person once in a while. That's why we drink whiskey. But there's an area near where we live where there's a mall and hotels and shopping centers and all sorts of stuff, but the roads literally dip down and go through the San Diego River, which is usually pretty dry and barren because San Diego is usually pretty dry and barren. But when we get even the slightest bit of rain, that river fills up and it goes across the road. They block off the road, and every year you see some moron in like a Prius or something thinking, oh, I can make it. It's not the guy in the Jeep Cherokee. It's not the guy in the big all-wheel drive Dodge Ram. No, it's the idiot like in the Prius. I'm like, I can make it across here. And then you see them on the news floating down the river and someone's having to try to, pull their friggin' car out of the river.
Yeah. He's not
People
wrong.
in San Diego are dumb.
It's stupid. It's stupid. It's heavy stupid.
Lady Marine in the chat.
late?
Yes,
she's here now.
Lady Marine.
I
was
thought
surprised that you were
Johnny
not
was this
there
one
to
to
make
be
fun of
late.
me for showing up late. And in fact,
I guess
now
who's gay
you're
now,
late.
huh?
So there. Yeah. As always, make sure to downvote and unsubscribe. That is the typical thing there. So as I usually have on the top of my list here, and a lot of weeks I forget to ask, but Roman, did you buy any new records this week?
I did, in fact. Here, let me share my screen because it's easier than hauling out the albums because it's a pain in the butt. So this is what we got this week. Well, let me blow this up. It will. Okay, cool. So that's the so a couple of these are obviously belong to Mrs. the Empire, but that's all right. So the Tears for Fears, Tom Petty, and Les Mis are Mrs. of the Empire's additions to the collections. And so I got the Porno for Pirates, which I may have talked about, but I can't remember because I'm old and I drink a lot. Just it is what it is. Big Audio Dynamite.
Yes.
It's not the good Big Audio Dynamite, but it's still pretty good. War from U2, which I was just blown away that they had. I was like, fuck yeah. And then 2 Warren Zevon albums. The one on the bottom there, the blue cover, that's his first album. This was a sealed 1976 album. There has just been a reissue of it, but this is not the reissue. The reissue it's the 180 gram vinyl. You know when you have the 180 gram vinyl, they're thick as hell. So this was this is a 1976 album, sealed for all these many years. She got it from KGB, the radio station around here. They were getting rid of records, and she ended up picking this up. And then the other one I actually even haven't listened to yet. That's from 1982, I think. The Bad Luck Streak in the Dance Hall is the title of it. But I love Warren Zevon so much. I'm sad he's dead. There's his final album, and I'll finish after this. The Prison Grove was the last album he recorded before he died of cancer in late 90s, early 2000s. My timelines get mixed up. But it was during that weird era where a lot of things weren't going to vinyl. They were going to CD and digital, but not necessarily to vinyl. So that album has never been released on vinyl. And it's like, man, please, for the love of God, put it on vinyl. Now is the time, because people are collecting, like regular people, not just me, are collecting. So
you are not a regular person at all.
No. But I got that 1975 or 1976 album. Like I said, it was completely sealed, factory sealed. It was only $30, which for that was kind of gold. And I like going to that shop. That's that East County Vinyl that you recommended to me. I love going in there.
Oh yeah, that's just like a block away from my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I bought records. Yes, I bought a lot of records. Nice. No, I
don't buy records very often, but I would say probably one of the more expensive records that I bought was an original release from, what year was it? I think like 1999, A Perfect Circle's first album, but it was not sealed. It was not in the original shrink wrap, and I'm pretty sure I paid over $90 for that one, but that might be the most expensive one I bought.
Warren Zevon isn't, he's not like the hip kids aren't necessarily buying him. Fucking weirdos like me are buying him, but where was it London? I mean, his hits were really good, but his other songs are also really good. So it's like, you're not getting a bad track. I did want to ask you, and while I have you here on this topic, this is the music portion of the show. That's what follows the weather, in case anyone's curious. Do you have all the perfects or all the Tool albums on vinyl?
On vinyl, no. The most elusive one is, I don't know if it's technically their second or third album, because Opiate is technically an EP, but their 1996 release, Anima. Again, that was the mid 90s in that era where everything was really going to CD. Some bands were still doing some vinyl releases. So they did some original vinyl releases in 96, They have never done a reissue since. So anytime one of those does pop up, they are expensive. But I think I have all of the
has one.
other... Nope.
And I wasn't
actually,
sure
no,
which one
take
it
it back.
was. So
I don't have that one or 10,000 Days. I have all the other ones.
okay.
But yeah,
when I go back there, probably in a couple days, because it's fucking me and I have a problem. She has a Tool album there, but I don't buy their records. So I will send you it and let you know is this the one, and then I'll have it if it's
right. Yeah, if it's like Opiate or Undertow, which are like some of the more common ones that are easy to find, or even Lateralis, I have those. But the ones that like they have not reissued are...
So you are on the wait list to get the new Linkin Park though, right?
Absolutely, 100%, man. I put my pre-order in there and everything. Oh yeah, it just and it's funny. It's like every time I say I'm gonna stop talking about Linkin Park, because I really I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't really cared about their music since their second album when I was in high school, and it was the thing at the time and the whatever. But the album came out, and I pay for Spotify, so I'm like, I'm not losing anything by listening to it.
Right.
It was 31 minutes of my life. It was 31
It's only 31
minutes. I'll never get back. 31 minutes.
It's 31 minutes. I spend more than time in that in the bathroom in the morning.
Don't need to know that, but okay.
Not a joke.
Yeah, they have not put out an album since 2017. Obviously, a big part of that was Chester Bennington's passing and them not knowing what they were going to do, and then finally replacing him and this and that and whatever and stuff. But it's like, you finally put out a new album and it's 31 minutes long. Other reviews, we're getting ahead of myself. I got another article that I think will be interesting to pull up that I just saw as I was pre-gaming, drinking before. Because, I had a long weekend. I was super exhausted. So what did I do after work? Instead of coming home and relaxing, I went out drinking before the stream. But,
that's my boy.
I never claimed to be a smart man, but, now I came across another article about Primus accepting submissions for a new drummer. Like, they're literally putting it out there to the public, which we'll get to in just a moment. But no, the Linkin Park album, you've had all this time to write music, to bring in a new singer, to everything, and it was 31 minutes. Other reviews that I read from Loudwire and other stuff are, it ends with a ballad. And I'm at work, and sure, I'm distracted because I'm doing other stuff and just sort of passively listening. But the last song ends, and then it's like there's nothing else after it. That was it. And I'm like, that was the end of the album? That was the big epic ballad that just was like, all right, it's over. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be ordering that album.
I know it's out, or at least is it available to buy, or is it just did they just throw it on Spotify for preview?
I'm sure they've got all sorts of different physical stuff. It officially released on Friday the 15th, because if you don't know, they moved new music release day. It used to be back in the day was Tuesdays, now it's every Friday. So it's out, and I'm sure there's all sorts of special edition, holy crap premiere, give us your money box sets, whatever. But as I said, I have Spotify. I just listen to it on Spotify. There are very few bands now that I'll buy the expensive, it's like Tool, Coheed and Cambria, maybe a couple others, where it's like I'm gonna buy the holy crap box set. But other than that, I'm just like, no. But in an effort to be objective, I gave it a listen, and it was objectively bad.
So it wasn't even just mid. It was not good.
No.
So I don't give a fuck about Linkin Park really in the past or currently. But as a musician, I know that I think a piece of music can be that I don't like is still a good piece of music. I understand that. So musically, how was it? I mean, aside from the vocals, how was the that's
they brought in side songwriter. So
holy shit. They can't write music anymore. They've lost the ability to fucking write music.
My understanding is with this band, they don't come together in a room and write music together as a band
oh my God.
Bands do. You start a band because you want to jam with your buddies and make music, and you get in the garage and you make a bunch of noise and you write the songs and you put them together and then you go record them. Well, this is very much I think they all probably live in different cities and different states. So it's just emailing tracks back and forth, and they just formulate the songs with everyone being in different rooms and patch it together. but then they bring in outside songwriters, and I just felt like it sounded like even musically, the performance of the musicians just sounded very like wooden and like very rigid. Like nobody was really excited about the music. It was just sort of like, okay, I'm here. Tell me what you want me to play. Okay, I'll record my thing. Give me my paycheck. Thank you. Good day, sir. Like it just
that's unfortunate. But
it did not feel like a band making music together. It was just like Mike Shinoda and the hired session musicians that need a paycheck. And then I almost thought about like trying to do like actually sit down and like record and like edit a shorter video about this, but I'm like, I'm only going to listen to this thing once. I'm not going to go back and listen to it again and make notes on like specific song titles and this and that and the other. I'm like, I don't want to put myself through that again. So I was like, we'll just talk about it on the live stream, whatever. But there were so many moments in the album where I think, given technology now with AI and Pro Tools and other fancy stuff we can do on the computers and stuff now, that they were like putting filters over her voice to try and make her sound like Chester Bennington. This whole time that they've brought her in, and they're like, oh, she's not trying to be Chester. She's not trying to replace Chester. This is a new era. We're starting a new thing moving forward. And I'm like,
and oddly
I watched the live stream where they announced her as the new singer. I have watched other live videos from their ongoing tour since they have like moved on from the live stream and stuff. Her voice is very like screechy. It cracks, it breaks. She can't hit the note. She can't do the thing. But in the studio, they put all these filters and all of this auto tune and all this studio magic on there to like kind of drop her voice down a little bit, put a little more of the gravelly, screamy thing over to where it's like they were trying to make her sound like Chester on the album. And I'm just like, wow, this is just bad. This is bad.
Well, unfortunately, Stone Temple Pilots did not fare well after the passing of Scott Weiland. They tried to linger on for a bit. In fact, who did they bring in?
Oh, they're still lingering on.
Yeah, so because after Chester died, they brought in the clone. That was like the guy who did I don't know. One of those I think I'm talented, but nobody knows it but me, and I'm on TV.
Oh yeah, one of those like the reality.
They brought in one of those guys.
Whatever.
So,
blah, blah, blah.
And does he sound kind of like Weiland? Sure, but sounding like a guy and bringing the same spirit of the guy is not. So STP is, I mean, for all effects and purposes, dropped off the map. They are, persona non grata musically. It's unfortunate. And I think you and I have talked about this before, though. In an instance like that, where you have a singer that is such an integral part of the band, and the band they're not young guys anymore. So they're not like starting from scratch. Like when AC/DC lost Bon Scott, they were still a young band.
Was early on.
Even though, but they were able to bounce back. I mean, for a myriad of reasons, that worked out really well. With STP, they were far more seasoned of a band when it happened.
Well, and he had already been like kicked out multiple times and stuff. Like the story of STP goes back and forth.
It's a hot mess.
They went on a hiatus or they took a break. They kicked him out. They brought him back. So Chester Bennington was in STP while Scott Weiland was still alive, and then Chester Bennington quit because he was like,
all right,
yeah. Like everybody was all still alive at the time, and he was just sort of like, it was great. I'm grateful for my time, but he's like, it wasn't for me. So like he left while Weiland was still alive, but they kicked him out
never
because
went back
just
to
like,
STP.
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so because they did that last album that I thought kind of wasn't awesome with Weiland, and then Chester came in after Weiland did some other fucking rando stuff, and then like he never came back.
Weiland died when he was doing like solo stuff. Scott Weiland was on tour with his like solo band and like found dead on his tour bus, and he just that was one where like they finally were like, dude, like we're older now, we've got families, and like you still can't get your stuff together, you're still all strung out on this and that and the other and whatever stuff, and they're like, we're done with you. Like they kicked him out. That was the same reason why his, the side project that was basically the rhythm section of Guns N' Roses with Scott Weiland, Velvet Revolver, Velvet Revolver also didn't last because Slash said they all came in with the agreement of like, we're all going to stay clean. And none of them did. So the band fell apart.
They were good though. I actually liked
I like
Velvet
them, yes.
Revolver a lot more than I like
Yeah.
STP Replacement Theory with both
Well,
Chester
because
and the clone.
it was like Slash's iconic guitar riffs, but with a better
Yeah.
singer who wasn't screeching his head off like Axl.
Yes.
It was some good driving music. It was
Yeah.
solid stuff. I mean, it
Yeah.
never really exploded. Although they did use one of the songs like in the Hulk soundtrack, the Bad Hulk movie with Eric Bana. But that's neither here
The one
nor
with Eric Bana.
yeah, it was the Eric Bana. It was the Eric Bana Hulk. But
Oh my
the
gosh. I remember
music
seeing
was
that one at the drive-in, and I couldn't see anything because it was so dark.
Oh, you didn't really miss anything. You may have had an enhanced experience because you didn't see the movie.
I
You
just
guys remember
the
Motley Crue? Remember when Motley Crue fired Vince Neil? They brought in this one guy for one album, Hooligan's
No, I don't
Holiday.
remember
was
that.
on.
I actually
Yeah.
don't remember that. No.
Was that during the fat Vince Neil phase?
Yeah,
Is he like
Well,
plumped
funny
up
thing,
for
he's
a
still
little bit,
fat
a little
now.
bit?
I was listening
Oh,
to
did
it
he go
on his
back?
Boneyard that came on. I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. They did like one thing with this guy, then he left because it wasn't working out. Or Judas Priest got Ripper Owen in because he
I remember
sounded
that.
like him, but he wasn't him.
But he ain't him. No,
Huh.
I
So it didn't work.
bought Judas Priest's last album, their newest one. It's fucking killer. It's a good album. It's everybody. It's the lineup, and you've got fucking Rob in there, and he's an older dude, but man, he's still got the pipes.
So it's actually funny you bring up Motley Crue because I got all these different articles and stuff pulled up here, and I'm kind of jumping all over the map here. But I just came across this today. It's talking about their writer for their current tour, and like just the stuff that they're requiring in
Oh
their
my
dressing
God.
rooms.
Oh no!
Inside Motley Crue's rider, 2 oxygen bottles for our aging pop stars, 1 soccer mom van, a dozen red roses, and the list goes on. So there's Fat Neil.
Whoa! What in the fuck? Oh Lord, he looks like he should be on Tiger King.
It looks like he
63.
ate Vince Neil.
Jacob, you were just a child when Motley Crue was around.
Yeah.
I mean, were you familiar with their stuff at all, or had the time passed?
It came after, after they were a thing. I listened to them, but yeah, I was born in '86, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, it was
you're
still.
younger
It was
than
when.
me.
Oh wait, what's on sale at Ralph's there, buddy? Hang on, let's
Roman's getting excited.
let's see some meat. What's happening there?
Well, yeah, Jacob, you're just a year younger than me, so yeah, we're pretty much right
but
there.
I listened to a lot of '70s and '80s music growing up, so that's.
It's funny, Jacob. I probably listen to
even
more 70s music now than I ever did,
Yeah, the
like
70s.
when I was younger, or even in the
when
70s.
you were, it was like new.
Yeah, no, because I mean, my collection has it's I've got a ton of like even mildly obscure '70s stuff, but I just never listened to it. It's one because the horrible woman that raised me, the cow that birthed me, listens almost strictly to disco in the years that I remember music.
Oh Lord!
And you can see how that could affect a man, right? Why does Roman drink so much? That's why, man. That's why.
I'm so glad that is a genre that my parents also both despise.
I get permanent teeth in 24 hours.
Motley
A little bit of the Bee Gees.
in Motley Crue's writer for their current tour, backstage must-haves: 2 oxygen bottles for our aging pop stars, air conditioning should the outside temperature surpass the age of our geriatric talent. They've got a sense of humor about it, at least, eh?
Oh my God, that's great.
A production
Like a
office
version
to
of the
seat
12 Days of
4.
Christmas.
Yeah, right. A production office to seat 4 humans and 8 egos. 1 large SUV/soccer mom van, access to on-site laundry facilities, or a local speedy fluff and fold for sparkly rock star clothes.
Oh my God.
More rock writer humor. Page 1 of the band's wish list for host venues opens with, "I hope this finds Each one of you free from any random pandemic, useless demonstration, loud house party, or Nickelback performance. Closes
Wow.
with Godspeed, be strong, shout at the devil. Let's see. Motley Crue is, however, serious about some things, including the no exceptions backstage smoking ban. If I see staff or locals doing it, they will be asked to leave. An on-site ambulance if the nearest hospital is more than 10 miles away. So they're already planning, like one of them's going to fall and break a hip, right? Like, and security in general, although we like to keep things light and funny, keeping people safe
They
is
can
not.
do a fist
The
fight.
band that came up with 1987's Girls, Girls, Girls tours with a travel party that includes 2 real-life dancing girls and 2 very large inflatable pinup robot girls.
What?
Okie dokie.
Motley Crue rider
Wow.
no-nos, drones, lasers, flashlights, knives, mace, glass items, selfie sticks, dented or browned spotted bananas in guitarist John Five's dressing room. So John Five obviously took over guitar duties for Mick Mars, who has retired due to his, deteriorating health.
Good for him.
That has been going on pretty much since the band started. Like, what is it? I forget what it was called, but it was like some kind of like spinal thing or something, right? That Mick Mars has pretty much always had.
Here, I can find it.
Last but not least, stoned laborers. Even though cannabis and or THC products are legal in some markets, much like alcohol, it is frowned upon in our workplace. No alcohol, screams the first line of a dressing room instruction for 3 of the band's 4 members. Neil is the lone exception for venues that do spring for adult beverages. Other interesting stuff, not important. Other dressing room asks denied by the state fair. So this is specifically playing at a state fair. Like, have you officially been? Are you officially washed up? If you're playing a state fair.
Yep.
A dozen red roses in Nikki Six's room. A 1 pound bag of cherry punch sweet tart ropes in Tommy Lee's room.
Ooh.
1 pound bag, really, bro? You're eating a 1 pound bag of just sugar, straight sugar. 8 cans of Red Bull for the stage area, and 2 large Domino's pizzas, all in caps, must be hot. Neil needs, after the show, written off to the side of the rider by someone with the state. Fair can provide menus, but any after show food is at artist expense.
It's a fair. What do you expect?
Fair, you're playing the state fair and you got to buy your own dinner.
That's
Domino's
not good. Here,
pizza
check this
less.
out.
Jesus.
So this is what it is. I can't pronounce it, but whatever it is, it sounds like it's pretty rough on him, and so that's unfortunate for Mick Mars.
Because I think that's been the thing. Like, if you watched The Dirt
Yeah.
on Netflix, like they talked about, like he had that even when like the band started. So it's just been year after year
Just
deteriorating.
harder to move. That's too bad.
Yeah. But good news for any of you drummers out there. Primus is officially accepting submissions for a new drummer following Tim Alexander's exit.
Ooh.
Anyone at all? Anyone got a drum set they want to send some videos into Primus?
I didn't know Primus was still playing.
I just saw them back.
Right.
They're currently accepting submissions from all points in the universe for the position of the band's drummer / percussionist. Band's longtime drummer Tim Alexander abruptly quit in October, stating seeking a well-mannered, affable individual with original sensibility and aesthetic, possessing a desire to open new doors in the creative world. Flashy chops are wonderful, but groove, pocket, and the ability to listen, react, and contribute to the musical conversation is a must. Smashing Pumpkins did something like this fairly recently too, where they were looking for a new touring guitarist, and they literally opened it up to the public. They're like, "Send us your submissions. Let's see what you got." Like, anyone and everyone, like, send, shoot your shot, see what you got. Which I think is kind of interesting. So I'll be curious to see what they come up with. They have, I don't know if they've already finished it or if there's still some tour dates left, but Primus has been doing some touring with Coheed and Cambria this year. I know, Roman, that's your favorite band.
They are.
But then next spring, they're doing a destination festival in the Dominican Republic with Tool and Mastodon and a bunch of other bands.
Fuck yeah, Mastodon. No, Mastodon is awesome.
So I saw them also play with Coheed once. But I think for that one, they said they were going to have Tool drummer Danny Carey fill in on that one. But then they're seeking, quote, the greatest drummer in the world to replace their longtime drummer who has quit, which I would argue to say now that Neil Peart has passed on, that Danny Carey is probably the best drummer, the best living drummer out there. But, you know, I might have a little bit of a biased opinion there. But, yeah, go ahead and send your submissions on in for Primus if you're a drummer and feel so inclined. What is going on here? Oh, okay, you sent me that boxing video. What happened to the breadstick?
I just wanted to save that in case we wanted to show it later.
Have not pulled this up yet though, because what would be a stream with Roman without breadstick memes? Go ahead, Jacob.
Damn it!
Did I hear there's going to be a Kid Rock, Nickelback concert?
Yes. So I saw. Let me see if I can find that.
You're making that up.
No,
what fresh hell is that out
of? There is a tour coming up that I believe features it's like Kid Rock, Nickelback, Hank Williams Jr. Oh man, where's my search? I don't know how to use Twitter on a computer. I only ever do stuff on my phone. Hold on, I can find this. Let's see. Yeah.
Millennials.
That is so unfortunate.
Riff. But then also, like, this is days ago, and this is one of those pages that posts like multiple times a day. How long is this going to take to find? I probably have an easier time just Googling it rather than trying to look it up on Twitter.
That picture is just so disturbing.
I mean, I'm just going to leave that there while I for this other thing. Let's see. Let's just go Kid Rock.
I can't help it here, folks.
No, I don't want to buy tickets to it. I want to read the article. All right, here we go.
Just like that, he bought tickets.
You got me. You got me. Kid Rock and Nickelback headline 2025 Rock the Country tour. Kid Rock, Nickelback will headline 2025 edition of the Rock the Country in a 10-date traveling musical festival set to visit 10 small towns. The series of 2-day Rock the Country concerts kicks off. Come on, tell me the list of the artists.
Oh Lord! Oh, there we are.
Kid Rock,
what?
Nickelback, Hank Williams Jr., Leonard Skinner.
Wait a minute! Whoa! Aren't they all dead at this point?
Yeah, there's no original members left.
Okay, I'm just confirming that.
Leonard Skinner, Three Doors Down, Travis Tritt, Stains, Aaron Lewis, Gavin Adcock, Tracy Lawrence, Diamond Rio, and more.
I know some of those. I mean,
Diamond Rio, I've heard of.
I enjoyed them back in the day, but I mean that was a real limited run. Aaron Lewis, I mean he's good. We've talked about him before in his live performances. They can become a little hostile.
I have seen him. I've seen him a couple times since he has gone out on his solo country outfit, and yeah, every once in a while he gets a little surly. He just has a little too much to drink or a little too much to whatever. But there's been some performances where it starts kind of falling apart a little bit.
They have a big country saying I hear called Country Thunder. I wonder if they're going to come to that.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah.
Did y'all ever see the Deadpool Christmas special? There's a scene in it.
I have not watched it. It's the one with it's Fred Savage, right? Like, and it's like the Princess Bride.
The kid that was in. And there's a line in it. Well, it's Marvel movies licensed by Fox. It would be like if Nickelback wrote music for the Beatles. It's music.
That's accurate. That's funny. That's terrible. As is this meme of bread clothing is very disturbing. That is so peculiar.
As you're
Why?
rapidly Googling where to buy these items.
Yeah, right,
It's made by Carhartt.
fresh out of the oven,
Wow, that's
fresh out of the
that's-
dryer
It's got
warm.
It's got the fur lining in there too, so you're not going to get the bread all sweaty.
Thank God. Wow.
Is that fur? Or is that
That's-
just like the inside of the bread pulled out?
That is so strange. Someone conceived this and produced it is even more strange. That's why
just because. So let's see. I've got
that special someone
another.
in your life that likes breadsticks.
I don't know how special they are, or they're not favorable special. Like, oh, my
You put that
special
out and you
friend.
go feed the pigeons, just like do
You
this.
stand out there in the park. It was a horror show. They just kept coming and pecking at him, man. They wouldn't stop.
It's like the end of Home Alone 2 when he like throws the bird seed all over
Uh-huh.
the bandits and the birds just attack them.
Yeah.
So this is another one we can kind of just like hit real quick, just because again it's a story that I've been following somewhat closely because I'm like morbidly fascinated with it. And then we're going to talk all the whatever time we have left about the whole Jake Paul Mike Tyson thing. I know Roman,
Right.
you said you watched the fight. Did you guys watch the fight at all? Did you see it, or
Yep.
is it just Roman?
I tried to.
Yeah.
I watched little
I-
bits of it.
I
Yeah.
heard there are a lot of complaints with Netflix and that they're not good at doing live sports. I was working, I was
suck.
at a gig, but I was getting text message updates, only to find out that Jake Paul's ego just inflated to the size of Texas because now he can forever say that he beat Mike Tyson.
It was so pathetic.
Which again, everybody, make sure to vote in the poll. Do you think the fight was rigged? Did you see the videos of Mike Tyson training? Did you see the videos of him actually fighting? Did the two match up? It doesn't math up.
No.
It's like Jake Paul's like, hey man, if you take a dive, I'll give you a lot more money than what they'll give you if you win.
Like, is it at that point? Like, did Mike Tyson need the money that bad? Like, is he already
I think he
broke?
did.
Is he bankrupt again?
He was,
Like,
Oh, he's in debt.
The answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
He's in debt.
see,
Like
that's
millions
like,
of dollars in debt. Yeah, he had bad management for most of his career.
so it's interesting. There's this guy out there, Dave Ramsey, who does all this like financial planning stuff and like
Yeah.
does all these classes and stuff, like helps people get out of debt and like live better and stuff. But he talks about it's like there's a special group of people out there that are financial advisors specifically for professional athletes, whether you're a boxer, whether you're a football player, baseball, whatever, because it's like you get these big contracts and you get these dollar signs in your eyes, and all of a sudden you want to buy your mom a house and you want to buy a house and you want this and you want that. And all then it's like you go broke and then you get injured and you can't play anymore, can't fight anymore. And it's like,
That's how you end up
so
with a
many
tiger.
athletes make millions and millions of dollars, but still wind up bankrupt because it's like they just spend it as fast as it's coming in. Like, it's wild.
Yeah. Most of them just don't end up well.
Yeah, they don't manage it well. So I've been talking a lot lately about the band, San Diego based band. Hey, San Diego. As They Lay Dying, and that literally every single band member has quit the band. Really, really brief, because I've talked about this a lot, and anyone that's here probably already knows this. Real brief backstory. Singer, well, let's say vocalist, because he doesn't really sing, but vocalist Tim Lambesis back in 2012 was arrested and incarcerated for conspiring to have his wife murdered, paid a hitman that turned out to be an undercover investigator, arrested him, he did time, band broke up, band came back together. Little by little, all the band members all peeled off. He replaced all of the band members. Now, all of those replacement band members have all peeled off. Now, his other weird, awkward side project called Austrian Death Machine, where it's just like heavy, chuggy metal riffs with somebody doing a really bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation and just like throwing out constant quotes from Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. The drummer for his side project band has left. And what's interesting to me is every band member that has left As I Lay Dying and now this band has cited something to do with integrity and character. Those are like the
Yeah.
those are the two buzzwords that keep coming up every time. So I'm like, as much as I'm not even a fan of this band or of anything that they're doing, I'm like, I'm so fascinated by this story because it's like everyone around this guy is peeling off. There's been accusations of, he's on wife number 3 now, by the way. There are accusations of abuse, which both he and his current wife have denied, which, that's not a common thing for the wife to say, no, nothing happened. So, but they're like, nothing happened. But every band member that leaves had said something about integrity and character. So now his side project is falling apart. Let's look into this a little bit. The recent drama surrounding Tim Lambesis has now spread to one of his side projects. Over the past several weeks, the As I Lay Dying vocalist found himself the sole remaining member of the long-running San Diego, California-based metalcore band. Okay, that recaps the As I Lay Dying stuff. We don't need to get into that. Skip. All right, Short cited concerns of his own in working with Lambesis in a newly published statement. Austrian Death Machine was resurrected in recent years by Lambesis, with the group having put out a new album titled Quad Brutal this past February. Speaking earlier today on November 15th, Short issued the following statement. It is with a heavy heart that I announce my decision to step away from Austrian Death Machine for the sake of my mental well-being and personal beliefs. And in the light of the recent developments surrounding the As I Lay Dying camp and Tim, this has become an inevitable step for me. Although it feels necessary, it's one I made after deep reflection as these events began to unravel. To walk away from something I cherished so deeply that once felt like a fulfilled dream is incredibly painful. I grew up listening to As I Lay Dying and Austrian Death Machine, never imagining that one day I'd be part of this world that meant so much to my younger self. But dreams can come at an unexpected cost, and that cost has proven to be too great. My integrity and character have been called into question in a way I can no longer accept, especially with what has come to light and being in utter disbelief. So here's the thing that gets me, though. It's like all these people are quitting the bands, all these people are leaving, but none of them are like calling it out. None of them are saying, this is it. This is why. Like, they're all being very vague and like kind of polite and kind of dancing around the issue. I'm like, I want some brass tacks here, man. Like, I want to know what's going on. Everyone's like integrity, character, mental well-being. I can't do it anymore. And it's like why are you being so careful? Like, are you afraid of being sued? Are you like, which I mean, I guess in today's age, you know, like
yeah, entirely possible.
The repeated promises, the endless cycle of I'll do better words that once gave me hope have turned into a broken record that has brought no real change. Instead, I found myself trapped in a pattern that eroded my trust and well-being. The cycle has reached into my personal life, affecting my mental health in ways I can no longer ignore. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who enjoyed my drumming on the latest album. It was a project I poured so much effort and pride into. To all who supported me and came to the shows in Europe, thank you for being part of this incredible journey. Here's to embracing new adventures and creating more music that resonates. The best is yet to come. So that's pretty wild. It's bleeding out into this guy's other bands. So it's not for me to pass judgment or anything, but all signs are pointing to the one sole remaining member is doing something really bad.
Yeah.
John, when was the whole business with him trying to hire the dude to take out his wife? How many years ago was that?
2012.
I believe he was arrested in 2012, and he was convicted and incarcerated. I don't know if he actually did jail time or they just gave him like a house arrest type of thing, but
he probably got jail time for that. If I were betting,
he was convicted and served something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a long time now. That's 12 years ago that this has been all just kind of coming apart. I mean, he had whatever. I'm sure he wasn't working, musically while he was doing his bit. I don't know how long he did that for. But all the rest of the stuff,
and then
was that wife one? Was that his first wife or second wife? He tried it off.
The one he tried to kill was his first wife. He is now on wife number 3 because I believe he got remarried while he was like still under some form of incarceration. Then they divorced, and then he recently married again. And hey, what's going on, Steven?
Hey, Steven.
Let's see if I can quickly pull up the timeline here on the old Wikipedias.
Yeah, like I said, it's just I find it interesting that the things are still falling apart.
Okay, so he was arrested. He was arrested in May of 2013.
Okay.
He was released from prison 2016, so he did 3 years at least, which kind of seems like a short amount of time for conspiracy to have somebody murdered. But,
yeah.
And then let's see here.
Nothing screams husband material like in prison for trying to kill your wife.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like the fact that he's married 2 other times now. Like, okay, so then
I can fix him.
June of 2018. June of 2018 was the date of their comeback show at Soma. Hate that venue. Screw that place. Roman probably knows what I'm talking about. So 2018, the band came back together. So this has been 6 years of the band kind of coming back together, and then little by little, people peeling off and being like, nah, bro, can't do this anymore.
He's poison.
So yeah, I'm so curious to see what's going to come up, because then of course then like he releases his own statement of like, oh well, there's two sides to every story, blah blah blah, whatever, this and that and the other, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm wondering if you're gonna wind up back in prison again. I don't know.
Sounds like
it.
But
yeah. So all of that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. I'm going to kind of yield to you guys a little bit because, as I've said multiple times already, I did not see the fight. I've seen some clips, I've seen some reels, but let's talk. Let's get some thoughts. What do you guys think about a 27-year-old beating up a 58-year-old man?
Oh, summoned. Pathetic. The whole thing was just a farce.
Right. Well, it wasn't even just, if we look at the fight as a not when I say the fight, I mean the entire fight card. Hey, Devon. It started with 2 younger dudes who were just wildly out of shape. They looked like they could have gotten beat up either by a child or an old person. They were just, but then in that fight came the only highlight from the fight was this scene.
Yeah, that guy was clowning him the entire time.
Yeah, I'd never seen a move like that.
He's from India.
In professional boxing. It was a little off-putting, very peculiar. Did not
the entire fight. Boxers always keep the hands up, right? Well, this guy would keep his hands down and put his head out there.
Yeah,
and go low.
Yeah,
and constantly,
the Indian fighter. Yeah,
he clowned the guy, and the guy couldn't do shit about it because he wasn't good enough. So that was set the tone for the night.
Oh yeah. Now the girl fight, I didn't even watch the second fight because I just didn't care.
That was the best one. That was a proper fight.
I missed the second fight because I watched the girl fight. So
that was
that a title, or was it for the?
I think
the
all of them are titles.
Welterweight.
Yeah, the second one was the title.
Okay.
There was a rematch. It was like a rematch night. Everybody except for the very first.
The girls were a rematch as well.
And these guys were rematches too. Ramos and Diaz, I think that was his name. He was he's a champion. He was doing a fight to keep his belt, and he won. Okay. That was a really good fight. They both knocked each other down once or twice. Looked like the one guy was down for the count, and he got up, and then he knocked the other guy down really hard. And
wow!
And it went the full distance, and it was like, ooh. But then the girl fight came out, and that was as brutal as hell.
Yeah, the headbutt, and so the problem with the headbutt, and headbutts are never good. Both of them were leaning in. They were both, they're leaning in with their heads. Inevitably, if you're getting close, someone's going to get their noggin clocked. It happens to be the So I don't remember. It was an Irish girl and a Latina girl, and I don't
Puerto
remember
Rican girl.
anybody's name. Yeah, okay. But so the Puerto Rican girl got her what was it above her? Yeah, it was her right eye, above
Right
her right
here.
eye, split open, and the longer the fight was going, that shit just started flapping, and it was just like, and they ended up giving it the fight to the Irish girl. I don't really, again, no one got knocked down. It was just there were a lot of punches thrown. That was good.
They're
That was a
slugging
more
shit at each
interesting
other.
fight to watch. But then we came to the headliner event.
Oh, Jesus. It was and all night long it was just buffering.
Yeah,
I went downstairs and did what every guy in the whole country did. Unplugged the router, the Wi-Fi, like everything to reboot.
Is it me? It wasn't you. Oddly enough, it was Netflix.
No,
the guy at
it's just
Netflix
Netflix.
needed to unplug the router and plug it
Yeah,
back in. So that whole spectacle was the buildup, and we were talking about this before the show. The training videos that Tyson was putting out were fucking awesome.
Yes.
He looked like an animal. And then the first round, he was aggressive. And then I also didn't like the structure of the fight. It was 8 rounds, 2 minutes a round. That's really wonky, funky shit. And they also had oversized gloves because there's a couple different sizes of gloves that you can wear. They were wearing like the when you're little kids, your parents give you things so you don't actually kill your brother and sister. That's what they looked like. They were just these big, giant gloves. They were fucking ridiculous looking. But now Tyson after round 1 was basically done. He stood there pretty much doing this the rest of the night. And it just wasn't. Paul got in like a punch or two, like solid, but not enough to like rock the old dude. It was just circling in defense. It was not an interesting thing to watch. This was way more interesting.
That guy did not show
scary.
the fight.
Yes. No, he was like, he
didn't do any bad.
Again, that guy got paid off to not. If he didn't, there was again. This is what I understand. I'm not a legal expert, nor do I have the documents. That Tyson there was an agreement that he would not knock Jake Paul out in the first round because that's Tyson's round, especially as an older boxer. But even as younger Tyson, we were talking about this before. Younger Tyson was an early round knockout guy. That was it. So he didn't have to worry about going 12 rounds because the other guy was on the mat in round 1 or 2. So it didn't matter. In this fight, it mattered a great deal. After round 1, I don't know if he was capable of it because a lot, you do use a lot of energy, bouncing around in there, and it just wasn't there. I mean, like I said, after that, he was just kind of circling and defending.
His legs looked like sticks. It was just.
His legs were very small. It was kind of strange. He missed leg day, I guess. I don't know what happened.
Looked like he was gonna fall over. I don't know how many different times.
Yeah, because you expect more. I mean, and this is me. I'm not a boxer, clearly. But endurance training is obviously part of boxing. The hitting is part of it, but the endurance is the other part of it. If you can't stick around for the rounds because you're gassed out, in the pulmonary system, then you don't have that. You could hit anything in the world, but it's not going to fucking do anything because you can't catch it.
It was such a letdown. I heard people were leaving during the fight because they were done because they knew what was happening.
I can believe that. And that arena was packed. So that was in Arlington. That's the Dallas Cowboys arena, their stadium, and that place was full to the gills for this event. Great marketing. I got to give it to them on marketing. They sold this fight. No, and we were talking about this again before the show. No one really watches boxing anymore. They've made it a dead sport. There is no great. I don't even know who the fucking heavyweight champion is now. Blair, when you and I were kids, you knew who the heavyweight champion was. It was just like one of those common knowledge things. Everybody fucking knew it. And then now the modern age,
that was the best fight.
That was fucking hilarious.
He turns around, walks off, and it's like, oh my god.
because he's talking on camera. All you see, you got his head, and he's talking to the guy, and then the interview's over. They keep the camera running, and he walks away, and it's like, what the fuck? I did not pay for that. Why couldn't Netflix have failed then? Why couldn't it have failed then?
Probably would have stuck on it, buffering on his ass.
Stuck in like spinning wheels, you're just staring at.
It's almost like this is what I think of this fight, and he walks off.
Jake Paul had shoes or like shorts that cost $1 million.
Like
specialty shoes painted
something.
with gold. It's like, Jesus. It was a total influencer version of a boxing match.
Good on the marketing, though. I have to give it to them on that. Everybody was interested in this fight. You don't crash Netflix with people not being interested. And they got because people wanted to see Tyson knock fucking Paul's head off. That's what they wanted to see. And when you didn't get that, you knew you weren't getting that after round one. It wasn't coming. So I was like, oh, I've wasted 3 hours of my fucking life watching boxing matches that I don't really care about, eating popcorn, drinking beer, and then
that sounds like a good time.
Tyson to fight. Well, that was the best part. It was me and Matt the drummer watching the fight, and me making fun of Matt the drummer, him making fun of me, my son making fun of both of us.
Of your drummers.
But yeah, as far as the title fight or the headlining fight went, it was what's a good comparative analysis? It was kind of like watching the Phantom Menace. All the hype was there. It's Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars, and then you get the Phantom Menace, and you're like, that kind of sucks. It was a long wait for this, and it kind of sucked. So,
but I think at the same time, there was the excitement of, okay, we've waited all these years to finally get like, okay, what's episodes 1, 2, and 3? Because we got 4, 5, and 6. What's 1, 2, and 3? So we got it. And
we haven't seen Tyson fight in 20 fucking years. That's a long time. That's a long time.
There was the excitement, and then you saw the movie, and then you walked out of the theater, and then the more you thought about it, and you're kind of like,
And they had Rosie Perez on because she used to do a lot of the boxing matches in the day too.
She was so fucking horrible. Yeah, the announcers for the fight. So you had Rosie Perez, who was just fucking unlistenable. You had Cedric the Entertainer. One, I didn't know he was alive. Like,
he's still alive.
Crypt did you fucking wheel him out of?
It was Bernie Mac that died. He's the one that passed away.
Oh, okay. No. Cedric was very much alive. I was just surprised that he was. And then you had Roy Jones Jr., who's a boxer. He is a fucking horrible commentator, though. So what they needed was they needed the guys from like the Tyson days of boxing on HBO to come out and give the announcements during the fight. Instead,
I think they're all dead.
So was Tyson. It works. I would rather have an old man who knows what the fuck he's talking about than Rosie fucking Perez, Cedric the fucking Entertainer, and Roy Jones Jr. God love him, but he's just he knows boxing, but he's not a commentator. So he's just kind of there. But fuck my life. If I'd been in that stadium and I bought my $27 beer, and this is all I got, it's like, fuck.
Yeah, because back when we were kids,
that's my analysis of the fight.
HBO and Showtime were the big boxing channels.
I love
Marvelous Marvin Hagler was a champ in the day, and Sugar Ray Lewis.
Yep, Sugar Ray Leonard. You watch the Sugar Ray fight. We got to see all these fights. If you had HBO, because back in the day before, they were on regular sporting networks.
Before the dark time.
HBO, and they bought up all of the boxing rights, and that was fine because fucking everyone had HBO, so it worked out. Then came pay-per-view, and the interest in boxing went like this and dropped out. It's like after the Lennox Lewis era of boxing, I couldn't tell you a fucking heavyweight champion. He's the last heavyweight champion that I know. And that was a long, long time ago.
MMA took over. Everybody watches those fights now.
It did. I don't follow it, so I don't really know those cats, but I know people love it, and it's a real thing. I mean, the President Trump showing up with fucking Elon Tulsi, and the whole fucking crew walking into that match this weekend.
Jesus,
that was
baller.
gold, baby. That was gold. Oh, that was just like, and the entire stadium just erupts when he walks in. It was just fucking, yeah, baby.
Okay, but now I have to play this.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
I was there.
I remember we had the HBO box. You had to turn to channel 3.
Oh,
this big giant block, and
yeah.
slid the brown beige
True.
thing over
True.
so you get HBO. That's how old it was. I am.
So the match sucked. The guy should be in jail and not have a band anymore. What was the first story? Linkin Park should also not be a band.
Linkin Park's album sucks.
This was a night of disappointment, my friends. There was not one fucking good story that came out tonight, except for the weather in San Diego has gotten cooler.
Thanks, John.
There was nothing.
Yeah,
there was
John,
nothing
asshole.
good that came out.
Your whole week can suck
that
now.
Came out lately, so I could. I mean, we could talk more about some weird movies that I watched.
Here's
recently.
something else that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, breaking news here. John did a corporate event this weekend. Total fucking sellout.
And I got paid.
Sellout guy.
I got paid.
Do you pay baby oil, huh?
Baby oil. He's on
straight cash money.
He's gonna be a witness now.
Straight cash money. Don't have to claim that shit on my taxes. So actually there's like 2 places that I play that actually make me submit like 1099 tax info stuff, and I'm like getting down to the wire here where I'm like, man, like I haven't really bought a lot of stuff this year. I need to start buying up a bunch of stuff so I can have some write-offs, because either I'm going to get a bunch of gear that I don't need, or it's going to go to the government. So I'd rather just get a bunch of stuff I don't need.
Yeah, exactly. Have you done a lot of corporate events, or is that just like a one-off?
That was a first. That was the first one. It was at the Lodge at Torrey Pines, which is a big fancy resort out there where they host a big annual golf tournament every year that like Tiger Woods plays at and shit.
Is that La Jolla? Is that the La Jolla thing?
More or less La Jolla, yeah.
My son has an event coming up there, oddly enough. He worked for one of the campaigns during this last election cycle, and they have a big meeting post election meeting that they're going to be doing there, a lunch and whatever the fuck they do. I don't.
What's
it's
the
not
place out?
So
yeah, Escondido. There's a old Lawrence Welk thing, or
I can't anscer that question, Blair. If I could,
I stayed there. It was like a wedding reception or something. But there's a golf course out there too, and it's like a big timeshare thing. But it's like a rental too.
Yeah. So yeah, like Torrey Pines is like, it's the big place where they do like the big, like I forget with it, like the something open every year, and it's like
the golf course there is world famous.
It was this big, like, I don't know, corporate company something that they're like based on the East Coast, but the guy that hired me lives here, and he, whatever, and they paid me more than what we agreed upon in straight cash, so I was happy. It was fine.
Nice.
But yes, I was working the corporate event while the fight was happening. But yeah, Roman, I see that you are obviously on the clock, and we're just slightly past our hour mark. I was gonna briefly mention some of these weird movies I'd seen lately. That
you guys keep rolling. I'm gonna jump out here, but you guys keep rolling. It's okay.
No, same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because same thing. It's about dinner time for me. I'm getting hungry, so I'm not gonna get in trouble, but I'm hungry, so it's time for dinner. The rest of you guys are kind of on a time difference, but yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So we will start with you, Roman. What do you have going on this week on your channel, sir?
Well, all right. Well, again, thank you for having me back. I appreciate it. I got unfired, so that's pretty cool. Jacob, you're still fired until Thursday.
You keep bailing on me week after week, but you know what? We just keep bringing you back. Devon was out of town, so Devon's fired.
He's fired, yeah.
This week over on of the Empire Thursday nights, 5 Pacific Standard, as always. We are doing our Friendsgiving is what we're calling it, and this is we're going to do some thanks
You are
for
so
what year that
lame
was.
right now. I hate that word.
Yeah, okay, hey, I'm old. And we're gonna cover some of the news that's going on as well. But it's been a good
You're not
year.
going to talk about planes, trains, and automobiles? That's like the annual.
No,
thing.
oddly enough, I'm going to have that on Classic Roman of the Empire for next Thursday, because next Thursday is actually Thanksgiving,
Actual Thanksgiving.
and I can't do a show next week. Last year I was able to do a Thanksgiving show because we were doing it the day after, but this year on Thanksgiving, and I'm not getting divorced. So I'll be posting Classic Roman of the Empire. Will be planes, trains, and automobiles. Now, December 5th, we do have a kind of a powerhouse show. It's going to be awesome. We're coming in with V for Vendetta. That
Hey,
is
that's the
going
day
to be.
before my birthday.
I know, and your birthday is the day before Adrian's birthday. I've got them all lined up. So so V for Vendetta, that's going to be a cool show. The movie is great, and that's going to be one of our long form discussions. And then we got some other Christmas stuff planned for into December. But yeah, this week, Friendsgiving, kind of a loosey goosey show, news, drinking, and thanks for the year.
Definitely let me know when it comes to Christmas stuff, man. I'm all in. So let me know what you got going on in the month of December. And if I'm around, we'll be around. All right, Blair, what do you got going on, buddy?
Nothing.
No more streams this week? Just taking a break?
Not this week, no. Next week, maybe.
Nice.
Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, so.
Happy
nice.
birthday to her.
Okay.
When I get home, I'll catch Jacob's stream because I want to see that. Got a good movie coming up tomorrow.
Cool.
But yeah, that's just,
All right,
getting into holiday mode.
Nice, easy week. Yeah, I know. I keep thinking it's like Thanksgiving's this way. It's like, no, it's still a week away because it's late this year. It's like right at the very, very smack end of the month. And yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, like, am I going to go see my family for Thanksgiving or am I going to see them for Christmas? Because I can kind of only do one or the other. And it's just a matter of flights and a lot of moving pieces and figuring out stuff. But Jacob, our special guest of the night, thank you for coming on with us, buddy. What do you have going on this week, brother?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed it. Yeah, tomorrow night I've got going to be going over the movie Paths of Glory. It's an old Kurt Douglas movie from 1957, I think. Yeah, I got that going, and I'll be on Romans. Are you going to be giving people presents like a Hobbit, Friendsgiving,
No.
Oh, okay.
There are no gifts.
So yeah, I'll be on
Festivus than Hobbit birthdays.
I'll be on Roman's
No
show.
salted pork.
And then and then Saturday night is my bi-weekly game night, so I'll be having that.
Oh, nice. Right
on Saturday.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Well,
And that's it. That's all I got.
Cool. And yeah, God willing, let's see. I think I only have one gig coming up this weekend, so maybe I won't be as tired on Monday. But the gig is on Sunday, which is more of a struggle. So,
buddy.
Oh boy. So I'll try to be back here Wednesday for after work beers, where I just come on here by myself and drink beer and ramble on about anything and everything under the sun. And then God willing, we'll be back next Monday for another edition of After Work Beer or Late to the Party News. I'm already getting mixed up.
Whatever the fuck this is.
It's only Monday. How is it only Monday? So good night to everybody in the chat. Lady Marine, Devon, Salmon, Six, Real Steven TV. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you on Wednesday for After Work Beers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Later.
Nope. Wrong one.
Be excellent to each other.
This has been Late to the Party News. Make sure to like and share this video for others to see. Subscribe to the channel and set notifications to all so you get notified every time we go live or post a new video. Thanks and good night.